In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to improve your wrist mobility for a more efficient clean and jerk, front squat, and snatch.
I want you to have the capability to fully move the way your body was designed to, right?
Jump of the head, I'll take you back to where my problems lie. In trouble, young adult, I done some that made my mama cry. Out to the heavens like I bless him, for I know he's lost. Caught in a trance and this manic depression settled in. Living in the fantasy world.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Dr. Horschig and this is episode 31 of the Ask SquatU show. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I think you're going to get a lot out of this episode. Let's get to today's question.
Nacho Average Gains writes, I've got very little wrist mobility and I'm looking to get back into doing clean and jerks, already working on snatches. What do you recommend for improving wrist mobility?
Alright, so today's topic is wrist mobility. Now to improve wrist mobility, we're going to take a three-step approach. We're going to talk first about some stretches you can perform. Second, some banded joint mobilizations to address the actual joint in the way that it moves. In step three, we're going to look at some technique cues that you can use to take pressure off of the joint itself as you're doing some of your lifts. So let's start with the first one. Now, whenever you're doing a clean and jerk or a front squat, you need to have your wrist in an extended position. So we need to be able to get our palm to go more upright. Now, in order to do that, we can do a simple stretch called the prayer stretch. You're going to bring your hands together and you're going to force your palms down and together. You should bring a good stretch out right here in your wrists if this is a pretty stiff area. Now, something like this, you can push down and you can hold that for about 10 seconds or so. Again, see how that feels afterwards if you can get your wrists up into a better position. Some people just like to hold their palm like this and pull their fingers back to bring out a really good stretch in those forearm muscles. Something like this prior to your training, try maybe 5 to 10 reps of a 10-second hold. Always recheck to see if you can now get into a better position. For some people, it's as simple as doing some simple soft tissue mobility. Others may have a restriction in their joint, and for that reason, we need to go to step 2, which is to bring a band in so we can actually affect the way that the joint works. So let's go to step 2. All right, step 2 of improving your wrist joint mobility is going to use a banded joint mobilization. Now, we have to understand how the bones of our wrist actually move to make sure we're doing this efficiently. The small bones in your hand during wrist extension are going to move forward or anteriorly towards this side of your wrist. Your ulna and radius are going to move backwards, so they're going to move that way. What that means is that our band needs to be able to help this and promote that natural rhythm of the bone. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the band on the top of our hand. We're going to get a lot of pressure on it, and you can push down right here. Now notice the band is on the top of my hand. It's not hiked up high onto my actual bones of the forearm. So down like this, band pushing down. We're going to lift up and push over into a stretch. Maybe a little stretch, but we're really focusing on improving the way the bones move in the joint. Couple seconds and then back. And I may do about 5 to 15 of those. And then again, recheck, do I have a little bit more wrist mobility? Now, second thing you can do, I'm gonna use this arm just for the demonstration purpose, but we're going to have the band on the opposite way. So our hand is going to be facing inwards. The band is now on my ulna and radius, and we are assisting going this way. So we're gonna push down right here on the palm. You're gonna pull up and then over. And again, the band is assisting in allowing those bones to glide as they naturally should. We're gonna hold that again for about 5-10 seconds and then come back, and I may do about 5 to 15 of those. Okay, and again, recheck, make sure that is an efficient mobilization for your body. While you're working on improving your wrist mobility, there's a couple technique cues that are very important to make sure that during your lifts, you're not putting excessive pressure on your wrist and increasing the chances of having an injury there. So what I want to show you today is a front squat, 2 different technique cues for that, and also during the overhead squat or snatch, the positioning of your wrist that will make all the difference.
If you try to maintain a grip on the bar during a front squat with mid-back or lat muscle stiffness, it will limit your ability to maintain good technique. As you squat down, your elbows will remain in a lowered position. Now, this slightly overdramatic demonstration is meant to show you how this lowered elbow position then places a ton of excessive stress on the wrist joint, which will lead to pain. Instead, allow your hand to remain open as you support the bar instead on the tops of your shoulders and chest. As you squat down this time, the restrictions in upper body mobility will have less of an impact on your front rack position.
So during the front squat and catch of the clean, while wrist mobility is extremely important, if you are having pain, make sure that you're looking elsewhere, including your lat stiffness, which may limit your ability to get your elbows up and therefore be putting excessive pressure on your wrist joint.
During the overhead squat or snatch, athletes will often incorrectly hold the bar with a neutral or straight wrist position. This places excessive stress on the joint and makes it difficult to control the bar during the movement. Instead, make sure to extend your wrist with your palm pointed towards the ceiling. This will ensure proper stability and limit excessive stress on the wrist and thumb joints. Here's a great video from Hook Grip demonstrating the ideal extended wrist position during the catch or receiving phase of the snatch.
Alright, so there you guys go. It's a three-step process to improving your wrist mobility to allow you to get into more efficient positions during your lifting. My question of the day is, with the CrossFit Games coming up, how many of you guys are going to be participating in the Open this year? I want to know your answers in the comment section below. Hope you guys are enjoying these Ask Squat You Show video series. If you are, please like, comment on them, share them with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Until next week, guys, happy squatting.
Hometown hero on the road doing shows and sold out arenas. You can call me what you want, but you won't ever slow my dreams up. This is the vision of a dreamer. I seem to